My name is Caitlin. My speech is titled Supporting Smokers. My specific purpose is to persuade you to emphasize with users of tobacco and related products. I'm sure all of you know someone that has used tobacco products, and for me, that's my mom and my stepdad and my grandparents. So I feel like this topic is very applicable to everyone. In my last speech, I discussed the health, physical, financial, and personal issues associated with smoking tobacco and the related products such as dip and e-cigs and chewing tobacco. My goal in this speech is not to convince you to start using these products, but to empathize with those who do. So, why would anyone willingly use these harmful products? First of all, it's the contents of them. So, Justin Kaba, who is a journalist for Medical Daily, made this diagram. And these are just some of the 600 chemicals that cigarettes contain. So, ammonia, nicotine, which is the main addictive ingredient, and you can see that all these ingredients, and the reason I chose this graph is because I wanted to demonstrate how strong and hard these chemicals are to show you how addictive they can be and how hard it would be to wean yourself off of them. So quitting is hard is not an excuse. It can literally take over somebody's life. And going along with addiction, this past August, the Mayo Clinic described nicotine dependence as a real drug dependence. Nicotine is a drug, and the behaviors of these users mirror the drug dependencies of other drugs. So when you think drug dependency, nicotine works just like other drugs you think of that are illegal, and they alter your mood, they give you a buzz or a little high, and they can give you withdrawal symptoms if you try to quit. So again, it's personal. Elaine Berger, who is the managing director for the American Cancer Society, said that cigarette dependence is emotional just as much as it is physical. So it alters your mood. So people get addicted to the feeling cigarettes give them and the stress relief. I'm sure you've heard from some smokers, and your brain associates nicotine with these feel-good effects. And I like to think of cigarettes as comfort food because you know it's horrible for you, but you do it anyway because it makes you feel good. So that's exactly how a cigarette user or an e-cig or anyone addicted to nicotine feels. And another reason that smoking is so hard to quit is because the products designed to help you stop, like the Nicorette gum and the nicotine patches, do not work in the long run. So users may have tried to quit before, but only for a short while does that work. Alice Park, who's the senior writer specializing in medical articles for Time magazine, said that nicotine gum and patches, which are the easiest over-the-counter products to get, are as effective as quitting cold turkey. I'm sure you know that quitting cold turkey does not work. It's very hard. Even the most dedicated users can't quit cold turkey because it literally rewires your brain. So the force of habit is more than just a cliche. In the 2014 report, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Surgeon General, who is Boris Lushniak, reported that nearly 9 out of 10 smokers started before they were 18. So when you have people starting that early in life and then you think of how long they're doing it for decades, it's going to be a really hard habit to break because they've incorporated it into their daily lives. And 3 out of 4 high school smokers turn into adult smokers. So the tobacco industry knows their market. They're going to market to the younger, more influenced generation. They don't market to older adults. They market to the kids who might want to rebel from their parents, and turning 18 to buy cigarettes is cool, and then it hooks them and they're addicted for the rest of their life. And children with parents who smoke are more likely to smoke themselves. So these embedded patterns make it extremely difficult to quit. So I've given you all these facts to say that the odds are against you quitting when you start. So I hope that would spark you to empathize with them a little more. Because I know personally when I pass someone smoking, or even going back home and seeing my parents smoke, it irritates me so badly. And just seeing someone flick ashes, I'm like, that better not touch me. But it is hard for them to quit. And I want you to think that In a perfect world, no one would smoke, and I don't think any of these people would choose to be addicted to nicotine, but once you're hooked, you can't quit. It is a drug. So remember that the person may want to quit and they can't. They may have tried to quit before and failed. They may not know how to cope with their personal stresses in another way, or cigarettes may be the easiest option for them. And nicotine addiction is a literal disease that affects the user physically, emotionally, socially, and personally. So, supporting instead of chastising nicotine-dependent individuals will help them in their relationships emotionally. And building their confidence and knowing they are supported may encourage them to start the process of quitting. So instead of getting irritated with them, try to empathize with them.